All right, y'all, welcome to the show. So in just a second, man, I mean, we've covered a few examples of Democrats already bending the knee and caving to MAGA, but this may be the single worst example of Democratic cuckery. I don't know if the word is cuckoldry or cuckery, but we're going to go with cuckery. And it is infuriating. It's going to make your blood boil. So we'll talk about that. I have the ultimate betrayal here for the first segment. Then we'll get to Fox News host goes viral for an absolutely humiliating moment, and it's specifically on the issue of the United Health CEO killer. Then we'll get to Dave Rubin's self-destructing in a softball interview. Only he can self-destruct in a softball interview. And then later on, believe it or not, Fox News heaps fawning praise on Bernie Sanders. Talk about unexpected. And we'll also get to who is leading for 2028 on the Republican side. I'm sorry, but it already is in I told you so scenario. We're already looking at that. All right, so everybody do me a big favor. Please subscribe to the channel. You know the deal. You know all the shameless plugs. Thank you, everybody who supports this show on Patreon. If you'd like to do that, that link is below, or you could tip with that thanks button on YouTube. Remember, guys, this is real independent media, not fake independent media. Never talk to an advertiser, never talk to a billionaire, never talk to a foreign government. You guys fund this show, and the default ads on YouTube fund this show, and that's it. Very proud of that business model that we've created. I've been doing it for over a decade. And without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into it. So James Clyburn is, I gotta be honest, one of the worst Democrats. He really is. In fact, you have him to thank for Bernie ultimately losing to Biden. James Clyburn came in at the last moment when Bernie had already gotten the most support in the first 3 states for the primaries and caucuses. It looked like he might run away with it. And James Clyburn was one of the people. He's like a Democratic leader and hatchet man. And he decided in South Carolina, I'm going to throw my weight behind Biden. Biden had a crushing victory in South Carolina, and that really changed the tone. And then after that, of course, we had all of the centrist Democrats drop out at the same time and endorse Biden. You know, allegedly Obama was part of that, and he was trying to facilitate that. You had Mayor Pete, and you had Amy Klobuchar, and you had all of them drop out and endorse Biden, which basically buried Bernie. But this guy led the anti-Bernie coup in the primary because he is one of the deepest establishment Democrats. He's a very, very corporate Democrat. And in all these years of dealing with Trump, clearly he's learned absolutely nothing. And he's going to float something here in an interview with MSNBC, which, forget just pissing off lefties like me. This is going to make the liberals go grab their pitchforks. This is going to make the standard Democrats absolutely furious and seeing red. Listen to what he says, then we'll break it down.
Do you think that President Biden should pardon Donald Trump? And if so, why?
Yes, I do think so. And I think he should pardon all of those people that have been accused and have been targeted so that we can clean the slate. We can have an air of possibilities for the future. If we keep digging at things of the past, I'm not too sure the country will not lose its way. Now, remember, President Trump has been indicted, has been convicted on state crime. Also, please remember that the United States Supreme Court has given him immunity. And so I'm asking people who question my thought on this to explain to me how he would be any more insulated by this pardon than he seems to already be by the United States Supreme Court. Really, Joe Biden will be demonstrating what he's always demonstrated to me, that he loves this country more than anything else other than maybe his family. He wants to see this country going forward. He doesn't want to see us keep digging into the past, but moving forward. So I think it would give a tremendous opportunity for him to demonstrate that kind of concern for the future of the country.
So in other words, hey man, he's going to get away with all of this stuff anyway, so you might as well pardon him. You might as well pardon him. Has it ever occurred to James Clyburn, ever, to stand on principle, to do what's right for the sake of doing what's right? Has that ever occurred to him? So he says not only should Biden pardon Donald Trump, he says he should also pardon, he references the January Sixers there. And look, in his mind, this is pre-capitulation. And I think in his own twisted way, he believes, look, if Biden does that, it'll bring the country together and maybe it'll make it so Trump is less interested in vengeance. Where the fuck have you been, dog? Do you know nothing about this guy, Donald Trump? One of the things that frustrates me the most is so many Democrats just memory holding Trump's first term and pretending we don't already know who he is and what he's going to do. Spoiler alert, whatever Biden does will have no bearing on what Trump decides to do. If Trump wants to do political retribution, he will do political retribution. He will get his revenge. He will get his vengeance. In fact, the real conversation you should be having at this moment right now, instead of this nonsense, is, holy shit, Biden better issue a pardon for Jack Smith. Biden better issue a pardon for Letitia James. Biden better issue a pardon for Fonnie Willis. Biden better issue a pardon for everybody that's on that list of political retribution for Trump. Now, I'm not saying if somebody actually commits a crime that you can't go after them. Of course, you can go after the people who actually committed crimes, but Trump has on that list so many people who haven't sniffed a crime, and they were just doing, Jack Smith is just doing his job, trying to uphold the law, bringing the correct charges against Trump, doing an investigation, gathering the evidence, bringing it against Trump. So that's who you should be talking about pardoning, knowing that this guy is unhinged, knowing that he's dangerous, knowing that he's authoritarian, knowing how horrible his first term was, and instead, you want to do a virtue signal pardon of Trump because, hey, he got away with it anyway. What message does that send if you pardon Trump? What message does it send? You know what message it sends? Tee. Sorry, Don and MAGA, you were right all along. This was a political persecution, and we didn't mean it. It wasn't substantive. It wasn't factual. We were unfairly and unjustly targeting you, and now we're pardoning you to say, oops, our bad. I guess we lost this one. Therefore, fuck principle, fuck what's right, fuck the law, fuck justice. Look, I'm under no illusions. I understand that now all the cases are dead now. All of them. Everyone. I understand that, right? But still, as a matter of principle, it is correct to have this stuff on the record. That the motherfucker got away with 91 crimes, but yes, he got away with 91 crimes. Don't pardon him and wipe it from the record and pretend like, oops, our bad. Actually, you were right about everything. He wasn't remotely right about everything. He was wrong about everything. For once in your life, James Clyburn, stand on fucking principle. The reality was Donald Trump was charged with 91 crimes because he committed 91 crimes. Instead of cucking yourself to him right now, you should be doing the opposite. You should be reminding everybody who this guy is. This is the guy who, for his hotels and his casinos and all of these business interests, there's been countless stories of him stiffing the plumbers who worked for him, stiffing the electricians who worked for him. Is that a guy who's going to care about the working class and deliver for the working class? Trump scammed people with Trump University. He had to pay out millions of dollars because it was a scam. He scammed people with the Trump charity. Remember those stories? He did tax fraud. He did insurance fraud. He did bank fraud. He stiffed his golf club architect. That was a story that came out relatively recently. This guy was, he built, it was like 800,000 or something like that, maybe even more. And Trump did the first payment up front. But then when it came time for the second payment, Trump said half now, half later. He never paid the second half. He never paid the second half because he knew, hey, I can get away with this. And the guy said, this was in an interview recently, the guy was like, I had no recourse because if I take him to court, guess what? I'm going to have to spend more money to the point where it's not even worth it to recoup the money because I'm just making up the losses I had in court trying to go through the process. This is who this guy is. Never mind the other obvious points. Never mind the conspiracy to defraud the United States where he's trying to discount the votes of millions of people because he doesn't like the outcome. Never mind January 6th. Never mind the fake elector slates. Never mind taking classified documents and whispering them in the ear to a billionaire, Australian billionaire at Mar-a-Lago. Never mind obstructing justice when the FBI said, hey, you have all these things that you're not supposed to have, dog. You got to turn them back. And he was like, sure, I'll do that. Gave back some, kept others, put them from one room in Mar-a-Lago into another. It was in the bathroom. It was in the ballroom. He had his own workers bury the evidence, hide it, try to move it from one place to another place. This is classic obstruction of justice. The number of crimes are endless. And when you get into the specifics, it gets even worse. And instead of saying, hey, let's pardon him, you should be out there reminding people of who this guy is. You should be out there reminding everybody, Trump knew he lost the election, and he tried to steal it anyway. What would you call that? That's called a coup. That's called an insurrection. It's on the record. We have the evidence. Trump acknowledged to one of his co-conspirators that the rigged election claims that he pushed every single day are, quote, crazy. When he tried to get Pence to overturn the results, reject the results during the procedural hearing, Trump said to Pence, Mike, you're too honest. Which implies, I know I'm lying. I want you to lie on behalf of me as well. He tried to force the Justice Department to open up sham investigations, election crime investigations, something where even a political hack like Bill Barr had to say, I'm not doing that for you. You didn't win the election. Let it go. They tried to force the Justice Department to send letters to the states fraudulently saying that they identified significant concerns that may have impacted the outcome of the election. Guys, even after the violence on January 6th, Trump and his staffers were on the phone trying to convince congressmen, we still want you to reject the results of the election. We still want you to do that. Internally, in their own emails, they referred to it as fraudulent electors. Fraudulent electors. They admitted it was illegal internally. And you want to let it all go. Again, for once in your life, for the love of God, can you stand on principle? Can you say, no, this guy committed 91 crimes, so the record should state he committed 91 crimes. We're going to point out that he committed 91 crimes from now until the end of time. Because he is a criminal, and he gets away with it. And instead, you want to aid and abet him. You want to help cleanse his image. Well, it doesn't matter how much you try to cuck yourself to him. He's still going to try to get retribution. He's still going to try to do vengeance. Wake up. This is the last thing that we need in a moment like this. I don't know what it is, but there are so many people in this moment who, instead of realizing, hey, you know the resistance that we had in 2016? We need to triple that because we already know who he is. We already know how disastrous his policies are. Instead of doing that, a lot of people, well, I don't know. Maybe in some ways we can hold hands and sing Kumbaya and we can maybe work together and maybe get some stuff done and maybe unite the country. I love this idea. It's always on the Democrats to unite the country, isn't it? This is what Clyburn's, oh, yes, Biden needs to try to unite everybody. Really? Was Trump uniting people when he was out there saying, I'm going to deploy the military against my political enemies? Was he uniting people when he said that immigrants are eating cats and eating dogs and eating pets? Was he uniting people when he was talking about Arnold Palmer's cock on the campaign trail? He doesn't give a fuck about uniting. At his MSG rally, one of the speakers said every single Democrat in the country are lowlives and degenerates and Jew haters. At his own rally. At his own rally. Was that a problem? No, nobody talked about it. Nobody cared. So they get to be as divisive as humanly possible. They get to be as disgusting and repulsive as humanly possible. And somehow Clyburn thinks it's always on the Democrats. Oh, let's hold hands and sing Kumbaya and let's maybe come together and please, sir, let me help launder your image and wipe your crimes off the books. It's not going to change anything about what he's going to do. It's going to change nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's like that idea of, Biden pardoning Hunter Biden means now it opens up the door for Trump to do political pardons. You fucking idiots. He already did political pardons. Why is everybody just wiping his first term from their memories? Pardoning Steve Bannon and pardoning Roger Stone and pardoning all these fucking assholes who did 1,000 different crimes. He literally pardoned Jared Kushner's dad and then just appointed Jared Kushner's dad as an ambassador. And somehow everybody's supposed to be angry and mad and upset that Hunter Biden got. Are you fucking kidding me? What kind of a sick joke is this? He's going to do what he's going to do. And your job is to stop it. Look, it would be a different story if he was actually planning on helping the American people, if he was actually planning on doing good things. But we know that's not the case. We have the track record from the first administration. We have everything he said this time on the campaign trail. He's fucking talking about war with Mexico. And you're over here like, oh, I don't know. Maybe we can pardon him and maybe we can wipe the slate clean. There's no slate wiping, bitch. It's not happening. It's not happening. And you just look like a Weasley little loser when you say, oh, if we get rid of it, maybe it'll work out. No, you're just, yet again, caving to the MAGA worldview. The fact of the matter is, guys, they are wrong. They are incorrect. Trump is a criminal, and he's gotten away with it. But it's your job to remind people he's a fucking criminal. And not only is he a criminal in the respects we already discussed, but he is a robber baron billionaire who's about to fucking rob you blind and give the money to Elon Musk and his buddies. He's got more Wall Street executives and billionaires in his administration than anybody else in human history. And you want to fucking play patty cakes with him. You want to play patty cakes with him. God, I fucking hate these people. Jesus Christ. Do you have any idea how much people are yearning out there for leadership now? How much they're yearning for a bold Democrat with a fucking spine to keep spitting facts and putting these people in place? Do you have any idea? You got liberals wanting that. You got leftists wanting that. You got centrists who have their heads screwed on right wanting that. And what are they giving us? The exact opposite. You have Democrats who, oh, I don't know, maybe Doge might actually work out. I joined the Doge caucus, is whatever his fucking name said the other day, whatever Democrat that was. We covered that. Oh, I joined the Doge caucus. Oh, I agree. Waste, fraud, and abuse. Oh. Providing intellectual, ideological cover for these charlatans and con men and frauds and oligarchs and robber barons. Giving in to the framing that the world's richest man should be in control of the federal budget. Have you lost your mind? And now saying, pardon Trump. Yeah, the cases are over. He won the election. You can only impeach a president. You can't criminally convict a president. Everybody knows that. The cases hit a brick wall. All of that is true. It's also true he's a fucking criminal. It's also true it shouldn't be the case that he gets away with it. So for once in your life, stand on principle and speak the truth. Instead, whitewashing all of it. And don't even get me started on, you should pardon the January 6th people. Really? Really? Is that what a Democrat should be focused on right now? Joe Biden has how much time left in office? How much time? About a month left in office, and this is what you want him to focus on? You should be out there saying things like, shit, the Supreme Court just gave you full immunity, so why don't you do a bunch of based things and say it's part of my official responsibilities? Why not wipe all of the student loan debt that the federal government holds, totally wipe it off the books and destroy the records? And then when the court says, oh, we want to bring that back, you're not allowed to do that. You go, sorry, there's no more records. It's gone. There's no more student loan debt. We got rid of it. Oh, look at that. We got rid of all the medical debt in the country. Well, it's part of my official duties. Under this statutory authority from this random law, I have the ability to do it, and I did it, and I got rid of the records. And oh, you want to bring back the medical debt? Too bad, it's gone. This is what he should be doing. This is what he should be doing. Not bending the knee to these fascists. God damn it. All right, there you have it. James Clyburn, total traitor and total cuck. Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.